start recording. Every year, thousands of Stormenfeld patients leave a clinic appointment and never come back for follow-up. Some of them do indeed reappear, but not at the clinic. They reappear at the emergency department for conditions that could have been managed with a simple scheduled visit. So we asked, does a patient's social situation affect how often they end up in the emergency room? To answer this, we scored each patient across 5 social determinants of health and grouped them into 3 burden tiers. The first chart shows the result quite clearly. Patients with no social challenges visit the ED only 2.2% of the time, while those with high burdens have a 13.3% chance. That is 6 times higher just from SDOH alone. Now, the second chart breaks this down domain by domain. Each pair of bar shows the ED visit rate for patients who flag an issue in that domain versus those who did not. Housing shows the greatest overall gap, but transportation caught our attention specifically. A patient who cannot get a ride to a clinic does not reschedule. They simply wait until the situation becomes a crisis. For the third image, this adds one more layer. Among patients who already are in the ED, those with high social burdens have a 77.3% chance that their next visit is also through the ED, while those who have no burden have 32.7% chance of entering once again. The system has no mechanism to redirect patients with high burdens back into regular care.
And now let's look deeper at transportation specifically. On the top left, even if a patient finds a way to travel, why can't they just see a different provider nearby? Every county in Kansas is plotted here as a square. The crosses represent counties with zero available primary care providers. The size of the bubble shows how high that county's at visit rate. The color of the bubble indicates how scarce providers are. The biggest and reddest bubbles are concentrated away from Topeka or Shawnee, where SPH main facilities sit. These are communities where even if a patient had transportation, there is no clinic to go to. And now for the second image, on the right one, this second map uses the color of each county to represent its CDC, Social Vulnerability Index score, which is combined measure of poverty, lack of vehicle, access, crowded housing, and limited English. Darker county color means higher vulnerability. The bubbles work the same way as before. The bigger the size, the higher at usage. But now, the bubble color shows HDOH burdens green bubbles, mean low burden communities. Orange and red bubbles are the opposite. The pattern further confirms what the HPSA map suggested. The most vulnerable, most burdened communities are not near Topeka. They're in western and southeastern Kansas. Now, for the final chart on the bottom part, this final chart shows what happens when both problems hit the same patient simultaneously. In counties with adequate providers, transport burden patients already visited at 8.8%, more than double those without transport issues. Now look at HPSA designated counties, while the ones with provider shortage show a 5.8% error. That lower number is not a good news because it shows these patients are not showing up to any facility at all. No ride and no provider means no chance of getting treatment. Now that we know what is driving this and rate cluster, we built a tool that SVH can actually use. On the left image, we created composite intervention priority score for every Kansas county, weighting 5 factors: social vulnerability, actual at rate transport burden, provider count, and HPSA designation. The darker the green on this map, the more urgently that county needs attention. Counties outlined in purple carry a federal HPSA designation, meaning the provider shortage is officially documented. Graham, Cowley, Neosho, Bourbon, Montgomery. These names rise to the top because they have the worst access conditions with the highest actual ad burden. For the right image, which is a heat map, this heat map turns that priority score into a working dashboard for SPH, where each row is one of the top 20 counties that needs help the most, and each column measures a different dimension of the access gap: social vulnerability, SDOH burden score, ad rate, and much more. Red means there is a problem, green means relatively stable. Take Graham County as our example, at visit rate of 33.3%. One in every three patient encounters is an emergency visit. This provider column shows zero, meaning zero availability primary care providers in that county. Not a shortage, but zero. And yet, it doesn't carry a large FTE shortage figure because there's simply no baseline to measure against. This table is a ranked action list on where SVH should focus to have the highest impact per dollar they spend. We recommend HVH begin with these 20 counties, prioritizing provider deployment and transport support where the red is deepest.
So these patients are not lost into the healthcare system. They're inside it, just through the wrong door. The data tells Stormont fell help, which door, which counties, and which patient to reach first. And lastly, thank you for your time.